Okay, welcome to this kind of a special video, this one-off thing. So I was tagged for this Q&A type of a style from my good buddy Matt O'Leary. His wife asked him 13 questions, I think it was. So we've got 13 questions from that video plus 10 of our own. So because Matt's wife was asking the questions and I don't have a wife or a girlfriend, I've got one of my best friends, Stephanie, to come in here.
Hi.
There she is. So she's going to be asking me the questions, and I think we've got 10 of our own.
Yeah.
Because I've already watched Matt's video, so I know some of the ones that are coming. I haven't watched it since, but yeah, I wanna have a couple that catch me off guard, and hopefully Stephanie has provided me with some. We're gonna find out. So yeah, I'll tag the individuals at the end of the episode for which ones I want to hear their opinions of these 13 questions that Matt had, and if they want to add their own or if they want to steal from mine, have at her. So let's just dive into these questions then.
Okay, favorite childhood music memory.
Okay, so these are the ones from Matt, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are the original questions.
Okay, so this takes me back. I had a couple actually, but the one that I want to stick with was when I was like 4 or 5. We had it was kind of like a liquor cabinet that was above the stairs. Don't worry, I'm circling this back around. So it was in the basement, so it was like high up. So I would sit in there with this Fisher-Price cassette player that had a microphone. And I would listen to the Beach Boys' Best Of. What? You're telling me? I can look at you. Jeez. So yeah, I had this Fisher-Price cassette player, and I had like the Best Of the Beach Boys. And the first song was Get Around, and I would listen to that, rewind it, and listen to that song again, and then rewind it. And each time I was rewinding, I was pretending I was a DJ, and that was Get Around by the Beach Boys. Next up, we have Get Around by the Beach Boys. And my dad would just come down and be like, stop playing that one song, let the tape run through. So that was pretty fond. I think back on that fondly.
Okay. If you could be the front man of any band, which one would it be?
See, I think Matt had the same problem that I'm having. Like, is that to replace the front man, or is that to let the front man take a sidestep to do something else? Because I don't really want to replace anybody. That's not true.
Let's do question A as in you're replacing it, and then question point like B.
Yeah, 1 point A and 1 point B.
Yeah, so
right.
it's a multi-point question.
If I were to replace anyone from a band, I think I would replace, what's his face? That guy. No. I'm trying to remember his last name. Chris from Coldplay.
Martin?
Chris Martin. I think he's a great lyricist, but I think he's starting to stagnate a little bit in terms of his songwriting ship. And I think the band that surrounds him, they're very, very talented. And I mean, if I was the front man for Coldplay, I would just be like, no, we're progressive rocking from now on. You know, we're going to start off and do like, you know, maybe we'll start off the new album with like a 2-minute song, go into a 4-minute song, stretch our legs with a 6-minute song, but then bam, straight up like a 20-minute song. Because yeah, I think Chris needs to just take some time and find himself.
Okay.
So, and point 1B.
2B.
2B. If I were to like let someone take a side seat and do something else, probably Spock's beard, only because I feel like when people are trying to like figure out who's the person that's going to be singing and who's the person that's going to be leading the band, like the person they have leading the band right now is all right, but I feel like they need like more of an identity. I'm not saying that I would come in and make that identity, but I'm just saying I would let everybody else kind of play their instruments and only come in very sporadically.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you had to listen to one genre of music for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
Okay, I actually gave this one a lot of thought, because my gut response, and everybody wouldn't be surprised if I said progressive rock, but that's not true, actually. I wouldn't put myself into that box, even though there's like a plethora and I'll never run out of music and new music to listen to. I honestly think classical would be the genre that I would want to listen to if I could only listen to that one, because of how many different facets there are. and I would never run out of music. Like I would just if I were just to look at like say Mozart or Beethoven or Bach, just listening to those 3 artists, I would never run out of new music to listen to.
You would because they're dead.
I know, but just the amount of music that they have in order to get into a piece. Like they've got the orchestras, they've got like concertos, they've got sonatas, they've got like years worth of material to dive into. And those are just 3 artists. Like we haven't even gotten into like Tchaikovsky and Stravinsky and like the contemporary artists of today as well. And that also goes to like scores and soundtracks, because those would technically be considered, I guess, classical in approach too. So I think, yeah, if I were to only listen to one, it would probably be classical.
Okay. Favorite female vocalist?
I can't remember her name, even though I had all this time to prepare. But the lead singer for Rollo Tomassi. I know you have no idea.
Just Google it and shove her name at the bottom.
All right, yeah, I'll do that. I'll put it at the bottom or something. Her ability to blend the clean vocals with the brutality. She's one of the few female vocalists that screams and growls and does like the goblin vocals. She does it very, very well, and it's not just a, hey, I'm doing this. It actually adds to the song, and it blends very well. In terms of like a singer-songwriter, it's an easy answer, but Kate Bush also. The amount of emotion that she has and the subtler moments, yeah.
If you could be a prodigy. That's
Prodigy, yeah.
I know, it just sounds like... Okay, never mind. If you could be a prodigy of one instrument, which one?
Again, I was giving this one a lot of thought. And there was somebody that said, and I know this is going to sound ridiculous, but like the accordion? I know it sounds ridiculous, but this isn't the answer that I'm giving. I'm just saying the ukulele. Yeah. No, it's like because the classical accordion is like so difficult to play. Like it takes so many different mental facets in order to properly play it. But honestly, I'd probably say the violin. It's the same fingering as a lot of stringed instruments, so if I got like the fingering of that, I could play like the stand-up bass and guitar. Maybe not like the 12-string guitar or anything like that, but at least I would have that foundation there that I could adequately play those. But I mean, the amount that you can do with a violin is ridiculous. So yeah, the violin.
Best band name?
Gobschnitt. I don't know why that one, it just came to me. Like, I didn't even prepare that.
Did you just make that name up, or is that actually real?
Gobschnitt is a krautrock from the 70s. I have a couple of their albums. I don't know what it was. That name just popped right into my head as like a real band name. If I were to have a band name myself, it would be like Smiling Politely from like The Simpsons, where Billy Corgan introduces himself to Homer, and he's like, Billy Corgan smashing pumpkins. And Homer says, Homer Simpson, smiling politely. So if I were to ever have a band, that would be the name for it. So, but yeah, Gobschnitt. I love the name of that band. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with.
Favorite album cover?
I thought about this one as well, and I couldn't actually. Toots! I gotta give it up for my main man, Toots. No, not Toots. As much as I love Toots. You're probably rocking the microphone, you know.
I am.
Yeah, I can't. Anything by Roger Dean is brilliant. Like, he does a lot of the Yes albums. He actually did a Gobschnitt. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. He did a couple of their albums. Like, he does, like, Uriah Heep's albums with, like, The Magician's Birthday and Wizards and Demons. Yeah, I couldn't come with like one specific album that I just love. Like anything that has a lot of detail in it, very bright and colorful. Anything that matches exactly the the emotions that are captured on the album itself. So I couldn't come up with like one that I just really, really loved. Probably the live album cover for the Yes songs. That opens up into this crazy gatefold that like it's a trifold essentially, and there's like different artwork on each fold. That one might be my favorite.
Okay. Musician you respect, but whose music you don't enjoy.
There's actually quite a bit. The one that comes to my mind immediately is like Kendrick Lamar. Respect the guy. Love his lyrics. Not a big fan of his music. I'm just not a big fan of hip hop and rap and that type of music. Same with like Tupac and even to a certain extent Eminem, especially when he was first starting out. Again, lots of respect, but it's a genre that I just could not get into. Even like certain artists, like contemporary artists now, like
Josh Groban.
actually, yeah, Josh Groban is a perfect example. Love the guy, just I'm not a big fan of his operatic approach, even though I do enjoy some of his songs. Yeah, like even Ariana Grande,
Yeah.
I appreciate and can respect.
What's on your work playlist?
So, I recently changed jobs. So I moved from an office setting to a very public setting. So I can't really listen to music anymore at work. When I do, I'm actually listening to like post-rock. So Mogwai, Explosions in the Sky, Swans, and Godspeed. Those generally... Because they're I mean, not necessarily Swans and Godspeed, but like Explosions and Mogwai are quiet enough that if somebody comes into the workroom and they're like, we need you out on the floor now, I can run and get there. But like when I was working in the office, half the time it was like death metal, like Opeth or Between the Buried and Me, and
Very public music.
very public music, right? So yeah, now it's more subdued, gets me in the mood. The Talking Mountain by Mogwai is always my go-to.
Most glorious personal music moment.
Oh, I forgot about this one. Glorious personal music moment. I will always remember going to my first Haken show when it was at the Hard Luck. That was where we saw Thomas Sawyer. Sanders. Sorry, Thomas Sanders. Not Thomas.
We saw Tom Sawyer.
No, Thomas Sanders. Like it's a really dingy bar, essentially.
Why am I here? Am I gonna get like
Yeah,
Hep C?
yeah. At one point, I'm either going to get stabbed or I'm going to get Hep C. But anyway, it was the first concert that I saw of Haken, and the second opening band was Next to None, and it was Mike Portnoy's son's band, and so there I am, like right at the stage, because there's like maybe 35 people in this, and we're all scrunched up because this is how small the venue was. And Mike Portnoy walks on the stage, and I could practically touch him. And he's just like, I'm super stoked to introduce this next band. It's Next to None. And it was at that point that I put two and two together and realized that Next to None was Max Portnoy's band. And it just blew me away of being that close and that like spitting distance away. That, and also like when when Arjun Lucasen and Fido reached out to me to interview them. I mean, that was pretty amazing.
That was kind of cool.
Yeah, but that was also one of my favorite concerts of all time. So yeah.
Okay, a band you would be fine never seeing live again.
Yes, straight up yes. They just need to stop. I'm sorry. Again, I didn't prepare for this question, but it just came to me. I've seen Yes 3 or 4 times? 4 times. And the last time I saw them, I was done. And that was when Chris Squire was still alive. He was the main bass player. So now they've kind of, just through legal reasons, they've broken off into 2 bands and they're touring. I know, it's weird. So on the one hand, you have the lead singer, one of the lead keyboardists, and then one of the lead guitarists from like the 80s in one band. Mm-hmm. And then you have the lead guitarist and one of the lead drummers from like the mid 70s onward in the other band. And they're both advertising themselves as Yes. One is just like Yes, and then there's Yes, Anderson, Wakeman, and Rabin. And after I saw the last one, and this was probably about 4 years ago when I saw Yes for the final time, I was just done. And each of the live albums that they put out to promote their work haven't been in any way, shape, or form exciting for me.
So it's like Yes on a diet.
It is. It's diet. It's Yes Light. very watered down, and they're just not at their peak anymore. They haven't been for the last decade or so, so I'm good for them just kind of stopping now. Yeah.
Guilty pleasure music.
Again, this is one that I had to think about because I'm not guilty for listening to like Taylor Swift and Carly Rae Jepsen. I wear it on my sleeve. And so the guilty pleasure idea for me never really resonated with me because I never felt guilty about enjoying things that most people don't like or don't connect with. This is even going back when I was a kid, and they're like, what's your guilty pleasure? Is it Sailor Moon? I'm like, no, I freaking love Sailor Moon. What's wrong about Sailor Moon? But thinking about it, the 90s contemporary female vocalists, like we're thinking of like No Doubt, Garbage, Gwen Stefani, even though she's a part of No Doubt. But even like the softer stuff, like
Sixpence None the Richer.
Sixpence None the Richer, for sure. Those are my jams, man. Like those songs come in like Kiss Me.
Yeah.
What are some of the other ones?
What, the Cranberries?
The Cranberries, the Zombies.
Cranberries sang Zombies.
Yeah. But yeah, just those contemporary female vocalists from the mid to late 90s.
Yeah.
I have a full playlist of them, and I just listen to it nonstop whenever I'm in the mood. And I don't know, there's just something about it that I'm just like, kiss me out on the moonlit night. It's just, yeah,
Okay.
jam.
Last original question.
Okay.
Favorite band tee?
T-shirt.
T-shirt.
What is my favorite? I've had a lot.
Yeah.
I have way too many. Favorite band tee. I mean, right now it's mainly just because of the material. It's the Protest the Hero one that I have.
Soft.
It's so soft. Oh my gosh, it's like our Critical Role t-shirts.
Oh yeah.
They're just so soft, right?
Sleep in them.
Yeah. So when I bought it originally, I bought a large, and I'm like, nah. I went back and I traded it for an extra large, just so I can have it more for like a pajama shirt.
Yeah.
And like I live in that thing. So it's like the death. It's got like a death character. It's got like a lantern. It's got Protest the Hero in like a 1960s pulp novel. I'll put it somewhere on the screen so that people know what I'm talking about. But it's just the material. Like I freaking love that shirt. Yeah. I think we'll stop because I'm looking at the time here and we're coming into 20 minutes for my video. So I think I'm going to stop it here for the original questions.
Okay.
I'm going to call out and tag the two people, and then the next video will be
New question.
the new questions. So I'm going to tag Insurgents. I'm listing her video at the end, or like her. You can subscribe to her stuff. She's a brilliant British lover, and Travis, who I've talked to many times online. He comments on most of my videos, and yeah, so those two, Travis and Insurgents, check them out. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I'll leave a link to the next video as well in that end card, which you can find right here.